The headlines. Edo Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu defects to APC. Police detonate explosive device planted in Borno metropolis. Vote buying increased in 2023 general election by 5%, says NBS. On the foreign news, Moroccan ex-minister hit with 5-year jail sentence. And on sports, Osimhen to get €4 million wage increase at PSG. Details of these and more will come to you in the bulletin. Hello, good evening and welcome to Liberty News at 6. I am Mercy Kwenom Thanku. Thanks for joining us. And now the news in full. Minister of Budget and National Planning Atiku Bagudu said the country has not invested enough in infrastructural development. According to him, several problems being encountered recently by Nigerians are a direct result of underinvestment in several multi-dimension infrastructures. The minister spoke at the National Assembly during an interactive session with the Senate Committee on Appropriation under the chairmanship of Senator Ola Milekon Adiola. Bagudu was invited to provide insight into the 6.2 trillion naira supplementary appropriation approval for 2024 budget by the National Assembly as requested by President Bola Tinubu. He commended President Tinubu for the political will to confront the infrastructure deficit by seeking the 3.2 trillion naira to fund the project, which include the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, the Sokoto-Badagry Highway, and the Trans-Sahara Highway. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Justice Stella Anukam on her re-election as judge of the African Court on Human and People's Rights for another term of 6 years. News may report that Justice Anukam was re-elected at the African Union Media Coordination Meeting Executive Council in Accra, Ghana. The President, in a statement by his spokesman, Ajuri Nglale, commended Justice Anukam for her contribution to the development of human rights jurisprudence on the continent. The Nigerian leader urged Justice Anukam to continue to bring her invaluable knowledge and insight to African courts. Tinubu also stated that his administration will continue to support the candidature of competent and qualified Nigerians for international positions, noting the country's strategic importance in the global community. Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin says outdated laws and regulations are hindering the smooth operation of public institutions responsible for facilitating business activities. The Speaker made this pronouncement at a public hearing on 5 bills organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Comments.
Every democratic dispensation is guided by laws, acts which helps in the smooth running of the government, thereby setting the rules to follow to ensure that citizens benefit maximally all that the government has in stock for them. Today, let us make contributions with our best interests and feel free to make his or her contributions, bearing in mind that our actions and our decisions will affect not just us but generations to come. I encourage us all to be civil and keep to time in our presentations. We all have one purpose at heart, which is success, ease of life, and building a great nation.
Chairman of the committee, Ahmed Manir from Kaduna State, gave the assurance that the House is committed to collaborating with other arms of government in the overall interest of the nation. Moving on, reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State Philip Shuaibu alongside the People's Democratic Party PDP Legacy Coalition members in his company have defected to the All Progressive Congress APC. He defected during the APC Edo State inauguration of the National Working Committee of the Edo Governorship election meeting held. The meeting had in attendance the former governor of Kano State and the national chairman of APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, including the governors of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, and Cross River, Basi Otu. The Edo State APC State Chairman Jared Tenebe and the governorship candidate Senator Monday Okpebholo and Adams Oshomile were also at the meeting. Shuaibu, who declared his intention to defect to the APC, was received into the party by the National Organizing Secretary. Now to Plateau. Plateau lawmakers in the National Assembly have pledged to work together across the party lines, tribe and religion to prioritize the interests of the state. Senator Deket Plank made this commitment at a welcome ceremony organized by the Plateau State Indigenous Forums in the National Assembly.
We are together. Even today, I move a motion on behalf of all of us, on behalf of the 3 senators in the Senate, because of the collapse of the building in Buzabuji that killed over 25 children of ours and a teacher. So we are all together. We work on the same page. Whatever we're doing, we in the Senate, we relate to each other. Even if I have something in my committee around, okay, this is here, come and join. We are traveling, say, there's a trip, can you come, so that we travel together. I want to assure you that we will work solidly together for the interest of Plateau. Yesterday, my motion for, we did a public hearing for the establishment of the University of Mines and Technology in Jos. And it was, the governor came, the Bongwam came, about 6 first-class chiefs came, and we dominate that hearing because it's a Jos issue, it's a Plateau issue. When we're here, we talk about Plateau. I'm sure we talk about Plateau. And what we can take home, no matter your party, the LCM is Plateau. No matter your tribe, the LCM is Plateau.
All of us from Plateau, regardless of party affiliation, tribe, and religion. Our aim is also to see that we promote the ideal of oneness, thereby creating that bond of brotherhood and pursue common goals that will lead to the growth and development of our dear state, Plateau.
The Nigerian government has revealed that it will spend 3 trillion naira on the new minimum wage and the payment of pensions and gratuities. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, disclosed this during a meeting with the Senate Committee on Appropriation. The minister presented the general principles of the newly amended 2024 budget to the committee at the meeting. Recall that President Bola Tinubu had, after a meeting with the leadership of the Nigerian Congress and the Trade Union Congress, on Thursday approved a new minimum wage of 70,000 naira for Nigerian workers. The National Assembly in both chambers had on Wednesday passed for first and second readings an amendment of 6.2 trillion naira to the 2024 budget, increasing the budget size to 33.7 trillion naira. Companies involved in the production of cement in the country have attributed the high cost of cement to the exorbitant amount they spend on production, especially gas purchased in dollars instead of naira. Representative of Lafarge and Dangote Cement made this revelation when they appeared before the House of Representatives Joint Committee investigating the arbitrary increase in the price of cement.
To form cement, for a combination of this limestone needs to be heated. It's like making a pap or making what we call a pap, just the way you pour hot water to make a pap. For it to become cement, they have to come together at a temperature. And this temperature is at over 1,400 degrees. To heat this temperature, you need energy. And in Nigeria today, you get energy from gas. You get energy from alternative fuel. We'll show you. So we're buying gas today from Nigerian Gas Company. Okay. So and I will tell you what's the cost of gas and all of these things.
Members of the committee were, however, not happy with the Federal Competition Consumer Protection Commission for not living to expectation in the discharge of their duties.
Let's not try to be, we are the politicians, you are technocrats, you are the professionals, correct?
Yes.
You're an engineer, I believe.
No, sir. I'm a performance person.
What's your primary discipline?
I'm in finance.
Finance?
Yes.
Good. Finance, 1 + 1 is 2.
Yes, sir.
Correct? If you tell me you're paying for something and it's denominated in dollars, what are you paying me?
Mr. Chairman, may I just explain?
No. Don't, please. Let's not beat around the bush here. Time. You are paying for a service. How much is this water? 5 naira. However, this cost of 5 naira is a function of another variable. Correct?
Yes.
Beautiful. So invariably, the cost of water is determined to that variable.
Very valid.
Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State and the Governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, has assured the workers in their respective states of paying the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira. While Governor Adeleke, giving the assurance in Osogbo through his Commissioner for Information, told the workers that he won't default on the payment of the new minimum wage because their welfare is his priority. His counterpart, Hyacinth Alia, gave the assurance while addressing newsmen in Makurdi, the state capital, revealing that his administration has blocked all the leakages, hence can pay 70,000 naira minimum wage. We recall that President Tinubu had approved the sum of 70,000 naira as the new minimum wage during a meeting with organized labor. The organized labor had demanded for 250,000 naira, but representatives of the Nigerian government opted for 60,000 naira. Civil servants across the nation have been advised to cultivate the habit of regular exercises, which will promote their mental alertness and also increase their productivity at workplace. The Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, gave the advice in Abuja ahead of the 4th edition of the annual Federation Education Sector Games. Liberty News correspondent Phoebe Kure has the details.
The minister, while speaking ahead of the 4th annual Education Sector Games, explained that the aim is to help improve mental alertness among civil servants, mostly at workplace, to improve their productivity, reduce the risk of stress and other diseases.
The essence of this, we have observed over here, staffs are sitting in their office, though actively working, but in terms of physical exercise, it's deficient. So the ministry created an avenue for them to come together, socialize.
The permanent secretary, Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, and others present assures of federal government commitment towards improving staff welfare, pointing out that the annual Education Sector Games bring staff together by fostering social interactions as well as strengthening relationships.
The annual Sports Fiesta aims to foster unity, friendship, and collaboration.
And some of the ministry's agencies to participate in the face of the present economic realities in Nigeria. Believe in investing in the welfare of our staff.
Some civil servants speak on the importance of regular exercise at workplace and the nation at large.
In the office, of course, mentally, you relieve all the mental stress of work and all of that. It also keeps one very fit and able to go about the activity, because when you exercise, it's like oiling a machinery, so it makes you stronger.
Health benefits. Well, as a sportsman, even till now, I go aerobics. I go for aerobics. It's going to enhance my heart flow.
Participate in different sports that will give them fitness, mental alertness, and can make them work.
Education mascot, which embodies the spirit of unity, perseverance, and excellence among civil servants across the nation. Phoebe Kure in Abuja. Liberty News.
Now to Zamfara State. The Zamfara State government has revealed that it has not received the 20 trucks of rice allocated by the federal government. This was disclosed by the Director General Media and Communications to the state governor, Nuhu Salisu Anka in a telephone interview with newsmen in Gusau, the state capital. According to him, the federal government had earlier announced the dispatch of the consignment to the state government, hence stated the moment the consignment arrive, he will ensure that journalists are notified about the arrival of their location to Zamfara state. The police public relations officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi briefed newsmen in Abuja on the ongoing effort to combat crime in the country. Olumuyiwa Adejobi, while parading the suspect, said the IGP Kayode Egbetokun had taken bold steps toward implementing some policies and anti-crime strategies to curb crimes and criminality in Nigeria. Odne Musa was there and now reports.
The crimes ranging from kidnapping, terrorism, armed robbery, gun running, and tricycle motorcycle theft. While parading the suspect, the PPRO spoke on how the force is committed to ensuring that the country is wiped out of all criminal elements. The effort by the Nigerian police force and also steps taken by the Inspector General of Police to involve foreign partners to ensure the country is safe.
We are presenting to you today several individuals who were arrested for various criminal offenses across the country. The Inspector General of Police has taken bold steps towards the implementation of some policies and anti-crime strategies to curb crimes and criminality in Nigeria. These strategies in place at all levels of policing structure in Nigeria are paying off. Recently, the Inspector General of Police has ordered the immediate commencement of tactical trainings for personnel of the Special Intervention Squad, SIS, in partnership with our foreign partners, which is ongoing at the Police College Ikeja in Lagos State.
ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi gave a breakdown of the activity of the Nigerian police force in the last 6 weeks on the review.
Also, the IGP has ordered commissioners of police at their various state command levels to organize weekly trainings for all officers and men in their respective commands, and this run through the year to help improve service delivery of our officers on the field. In the last 6 weeks, the Nigerian police force has arrested 307 armed robbery suspects, 296 kidnapping suspects, 301 homicide suspects, 176 rape through defilement suspects, 204 suspected cultists, and we've been able to recover 284 firearms, 6,702 ammunition of various calibers, and 107 vehicles, and we were able to rescue 97 victims of kidnapping.
The 35 suspects paraded were apprehended with weapons like AK-47 rifles, sledgehammer, car jack, 2 chisel, and 1 Toyota Hiace bus. Other recoveries were also made.
Today, we will be presenting a total number of 35 suspects apprehended for various offenses. 1 AK-47 rifle with magazine, sledgehammer, car jack, 2 chisels, small hammers, and 1 Toyota Hiace bus. Similarly, operations to mop up illegal arms and ammunition in circulation in the country led to the recovery of 4 AK-47 rifles, 5 magazines, and 107 rounds of live ammunition of various calibers during this operation. Led by the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of IRT, the IRT operatives were able to recover this in furtherance of an effort to mop up arms and ammunition in circulation in Nigeria.
ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi also said that the IGP recently established the anti-money laundering unit at the force headquarters to leverage on the already existing relationship between the police and other anti-graft agencies to support the government in the fight against money laundering.
Furthermore, with the zeal of the Inspector General of Police and the present leadership of the Nigerian Police Force to support the government in the fight against money laundering. The IGP has recently established the Anti-Money Laundering Unit at the 4th Headquarters here in Abuja, headed by CP Hyacinth Edozie Azuka, to leverage the already existing working relationship between the police and other anti-graft agencies. Also, in line with Interpol mandate to curb terrorism financing and international crimes amongst its member states. The IGP has carefully selected trained financial and cybercrime experts to dominate the unit for efficiency and effectiveness.
Police Public Relations Officer rounded up by saying that the IGP has given instructions to all command CPs to mop up arms and ammunition in circulation in the country. ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi commended men of the Nigerian Police Force for their commitment and zeal towards achieving this great feat. Otnel Musa, Liberty News.
Thank you so much, Otnel Musa, for that report. Police anti-bomb squad have deactivated an improvised explosive device planted near a primary healthcare center in Maiduguri metropolis. The IED was discovered by residents around Malam Kachala General Hospital at the Federal Locust along Baga Road around midnight. According to an eyewitness, the IED did not explode as it was discovered on time. The police anti-bomb squad was alerted and they deactivated the device without any casualty. The source of the bomb has yet to be established, but about a week ago, an IED was also discovered planted at Zejiri Primary School, also at Baga Road. This is coming a month after multiple explosions killed 36 people in Goza town and a day after the military raised alarm on the increased use of IEDs by Boko Haram terrorists to cause havoc. A former Nigerian ambassador, Dr. Martins Ohomoibi, says treaties signed by the government of Nigeria should reflect the interests of the country. He made the call recently in a Liberty television and radio program named Democracy in Practice. Andy Ohene, who monitored the program, completes the report.
A former Nigerian ambassador and permanent secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has likened Nigeria's signing of the Samoa Agreement to another Berlin Conference of 1884 that partitioned Africa without its prior knowledge and consent. Dr. Martins Ohomoibi opined that diplomacy should be about the well-being of Nigeria's development.
If this is not agreed, and I agree with them completely, then Nigeria should withdraw from that agreement, because it is a subterfuge for reversing even some of those things that are sacrosanct in the Nigerian constitution. And Nigeria remains a sovereign country, an independent country, now 64 years, almost 64 years as an independent nation. And that should not be compromised under any altar or sacrifice.
Ambassador Elijah Amegba, former Nigerian ambassador to Burundi, said the agreement was signed after interministerial consultation which included members of the Nigerian Bar Association. He, however, argued that signing to the agreement does not make it supernatural.
We are signatories to conventions. When you sign to conventions, that means that the sovereignty of your country, you may have to keep them up, given the provisions of the convention.
The scope of that convention.
Yes. But this agreement is not the EU OACP agreement cannot be seen as a supranational body, because there must be also respect for the constitution of the land and for the laws that are existing in the country.
Ambassador.
Dr. Martins, who is currently the president, Pan-African Institute of Global Affairs and Strategy, stressed that Act 97 of the agreement subjugates the interests of Nigeria and makes her lose her sovereignty.
Agreement or arrangement of any kind between one or more member states shall impede the implementation. So what is it saying? It's saying that this agreement is superior
to any other
to others. And how can we sign on to this? I think really this really went too far for my own thinking. I don't know what other justification have been given to it, but let them we'll take it in good faith at our own detriment, really, the way I see it. Because what is written is written. If they can say that no agreement or that will take precedent over this agreement. They are saying that this agreement is superior and overcomes every other thing that you may have,
including your sovereignty.
And I think this thing needs to be really critically looked at.
Uhomoibi stated that Nigeria should critically look at the treaties they signed to see what is the need for the nation. The two ambassadors advanced their opinions on Liberty Television's program, Democracy in Practice, hosted by Tunde Hassan Mahmoud. Andy Ohene reporting for Liberty News.
Thank you, Andy, for that report. The federal government of Nigeria has fined the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, Meta Platforms, the sum of $220 million for an unauthorized appropriation of personal data without user consent and discriminatory practices against Nigerian users and the abuse of Meta's dominant market position. A statement by the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission said the decision was taken after the joint investigation of the Nigerian Data Protection Commission (NDPC) revealed extensive and ongoing violations of Nigerian laws following a comprehensive 38-month investigation into data privacy practices and market behavior. The investigation concluded that Meta engaged in abusive and invasive practice against Nigerian data subjects, such as transferring personal data across borders without authorization and forcing users to accept exploitive privacy policies. The news is coming to you on Liberty Television. You can also watch us live on all our social media platforms on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by searching for Liberty TVR. And still to come in our bulletin, vote buying increased in 2023 general election by 5%, says NBS. Moroccan ex-minister hit with 5-year jail sentence. And on sport, Osimhen to get €4 million wage increase at PSG. Stand by for these and more after this break. We'll be right back. Short break, and if you're just joining us, the news is brought to you on Liberty Television. Thanks for joining us. Moving on still in our bulletin to our commercial stories. The National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has said vote buying increased by 5% in the 2023 general elections. Released on July 11, the NBS report titled "Corruption in Nigeria: Patterns and Trends." Third survey on corruption experienced by the population said the election recorded 22% of vote buying, which is 5% higher than the 2019 general election with 17%. The agency disclosed that 22% of Nigerian citizens reportedly were personally offered money in exchange of votes before or during the 2023 general election, while 9% were offered another favor. It described vote buying as an act of offering money, goods, or other favors in exchange for voters' votes in an election. However, NBS said its survey revealed that some electorates were not influenced by their voting decision even after collecting money or favor. And up next is Business Update. We apologize for that. It will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. Moving on to foreign news, Moroccan opposition figure and former Minister Mohamed Zein has been sentenced to 5 years in prison while serving a 3-year term in another case, his lawyer said. The former Rabat Bar Association president was convicted on charges of embezzlement and squandering of public funds, the lawyer Ali Rada Zain, who is also his son. The charges relate to funds the Moroccan Liberal Party MPML, of which Mohammed Zain was founder and chief, received in 2015 electoral campaign. Zain, who was Human Rights Minister between 1995 and 1996, has been in detention since November 2022 after being sentenced to 3 years on appeal. The opposition figure had become known in recent years for statements criticizing the authorities in Morocco, particularly the intelligence services. Still on the foreign news, 11 people dead and more than 30 remain missing after a bridge in northern China collapsed and torrential rains, state broadcasters reported. The bridge over a river in Shanxi province collapsed at around 8:40 p.m. due to a sudden downpour and flash floods, official news Xinhua said. Citing the Provisional Public Relations Department, nearly 20 vehicles and more than 30 people remained missing after the highway bridge collapsed into the river below. All 11 confirmed victims were found inside 5 vehicles that had so far been recovered from the water. Images on the state TV showed partially submerged section of the bridge with the river rushing over it. China is enduring a summer of extreme weather with heavy rains across the east and south coming as much of the north has sweltered in successive heat waves. In May, a highway in southern China collapsed after days of rain, leaving 48 dead. And earlier this month, a tornado passed through a town in eastern China, killing 1 and injuring 79 and causing significant damage. Let's join the international news desk.
International news. A massive tech failure that caused travel queues around the world on Friday is continuing to cause some disruption. Experts are now also warning of possible further risks as criminals seek to exploit the IT issues. The boss of CrowdStrike, the cybersecurity firm responsible for worldwide IT outrage, has apologized and also warned against bad actors. While the software bug has been fixed, experts say the manual reboot of each affected Microsoft computer will take a huge amount of work. Thousands of flights were cancelled and banking, healthcare and payment systems were also affected. Although airports are likely reporting that the IT issue has been resolved, the knock-on effect means thousands of travelers are still trying to make their way home or attempting to go on holiday. And in Zambia, Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema has taken the extraordinary step of firing the entire board of the country's corruption-busting body after they themselves were accused of corruption, which they deny. It comes days after the head of the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, Tom Shamakamba, resigned from his post. But he and the country's Solicitor General, Marshal Muchende, were accused of taking kickbacks. Both men strongly deny the allegations. Since Mr. Hichilema came to power 3 years ago, the authorities have been investigating a number of officials from the former government accused of graft. Now the explosive allegations are that ACC officials have been taking payments from politicians targeted by the probe in exchange for amnesty. The whistleblower is a man called O'Brien Kaba, who was once a board member of the ACC. Going by press reports, ACC, for example, has made legally senseless settlements, immunizing some of the most corrupt individuals, thereby shielding them from justice and accountability. He wrote earlier this week. He said the same immunity deals under the former governing party, the Patriotic Front, were now being used under the current government in a manner that shows no commitment to fighting corruption. And finally, in Kenya, Kenya's embattled president has announced a plan to form a new broad-based government following weeks of deadly anti-government protests sparked by an unpopular tax bill. However, 6 of the 11 ministers President William Ruto proposed in Friday's address were from the cabinet he sacked just last week. When dismissing that cabinet, Mr. Ruto had said the move came after reflection and listening to Kenyans. On Friday, he said the crisis Kenya was experiencing was lesser than the opportunity before the country. The demonstrations, in which more than 40 people died, began as a response to the tax rises. However, after the government withdrew these proposals, the predominantly young protesters broadened their demands. Recently, they have been calling for President Ruto to resign. Human rights groups had accused police of shooting dozens of protesters, some of them fatally, and abducting or arbitrarily arresting hundreds more. And that's about the much we can go or take in international news today. My name is Andy Ohene. More news will come your way.
Andy Ohene for that entertainment news. And up next is entertainment news.
A very good evening and welcome to Entertainment News. Nigerian global music sensation D'banj has unveiled details of his highly anticipated 5th studio album. D'banj's upcoming 5th album, Entertainer. The sequel is a creative blend of Afrobeat and Afropop, packaging 11 songs and 2 bonus tracks. The album titled Entertainer is set to be released on August 9, 2024. D'banj has recruited a selection of global stars for his album, including German award winner Wyclef James, Congolese icon Awilulu Komba, American superstar Akon, South African mega DJ Maphorisa, among others. The new album, a follow-up to his 2008 Magnopause, The Entertainer, include collaboration with Africa. The Entertainer include collaborations with Nigerian musicians, which include Fino, Timaya, K-Switch, Zlanta, Peruzzi, among others. Ahead of the album release, D'banj has released a new single titled Worthy. The single was released on July 19 and it offers listeners a glimpse of what to be expected from D'banj's upcoming album. Wrestling icon and entertainer Hulk Hogan made a dramatic appearance at the Republican National Convention, tearing off his shirt on stage to rally support for presidential candidate Donald Trump. The former U.S. president delivered his first public speech since surviving an assassination attempt at rally the previous week. The reflection of the recent attempt on Trump's life, Hogan declared, "What happened last week when they took a shot at Trump? They tried to kill the greatest president of the United States." Hogan then rallied the crowd with a call to action in order to make America great again. Adidas said Friday it had dropped vocal pro-Palestinian model Bella Hadid from an advertising campaign for retro sneakers, referencing the 1972 Munich Olympics, which were overshadowed by a massacre of Israeli athletes. The German sportswear giant recently relaunched the SL72, a shoe first showcased by athletes at the 1972 Olympics as part of a series surviving old classic sneakers. 11 Israeli athletes and German police officers were killed at the 1972 Munich Games after gunmen from the Palestinian Black September group broke into the Olympic Village and took them hostage. Hadid, who was born in US but has Palestinian roots through her father, has been vocal about her support for Palestinians' rights since the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7 triggered the war in Gaza. Hadid has taken part in several pro-Palestinian demonstration during the conflict and has described Israel offense as genocide. Thanks for listening. I am the lady with her eyes and ears out for juicy entertainment stories. Until I come your way in our next segment, Elizabeth Masha. Do enjoy the rest of the news.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth Masha, for that entertainment news. And to sports stories now, Victor Osimhen is set for a €4 million wage increase at Paris Saint-Germain, having reportedly agreed personal terms with the French champions. According to Total Sport, the Nigerian striker has shaken hands with the French giant on a 5-year deal worth €14 million per season, which represents a significant pay rise from his current €10 million annual salary at Napoli. The 25-year-old's agent Roberto Colenda was in Paris earlier this week to negotiate with PSG. However, the League One side must still reach an agreement with Napoli to finalize the transfer. While Napoli and new coach Antonio Conte are open to parting ways with Osimhen, PSG appears reluctant to meet the player's 130 million euros release clause, but reports suggest they could offer 100 million euro plus a year to secure the deal. And still on sports, former world champion Ray Reardon, the coal miner who dominated snooker in the 1970s, has died at the age of 91. Welshman Reardon had previously been diagnosed with cancer and passed away on Friday night, his wife Carol confirmed today. Reardon won 6 world titles between 1970 and 1978, earning an MBE in the 1985 Queen's Birthday Honours. Reardon retired in 1991 at the age of 58, but remained in the snooker world, helping Ronnie O'Sullivan as a consultant during his run to the 2004 world title. And that's the size of our news package for tonight. To end the news, here is a recap of our top stories. In the headlines, we told you Edo Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu defect to APC. We also told you police detonate explosive device planted in Borno metropolis. Vote buying increased in 2023 general election by 5%, says NBS. And on the foreign news, Moroccan ex-minister hit with 5-year jail sentence. And on sports, Osimhen to get 4 million euro wage increase at PSG. The news team wishes you a pleasant time as we leave you with this Liberty quote by Nido Cuban, which says, "Your present circumstance does not determine where you can go. They merely determine where you start." Thank you so much for